Far away in the vast galaxy, something terrible was happening. A small star system called Zephora was sending out distress signals. The signals were loud, desperate, and full of fear. Zephora was under attack by a strange and powerful alien force no one had ever seen before. The Galactic Council, a group of the most important leaders from many alien worlds, was watching the signals carefully. They were worried but also helpless. Many species in the galaxy had already lost their homes and loved ones because of this new enemy. They did not know how to stop it. Across the galaxy, the news spread fast. The peaceful star systems were afraid. The mighty fleets of other alien races tried to respond, but the enemy was too strong and fast. They destroyed everything in their path. It seemed like no one could stop this new danger. Back on Earth, life was going on as usual. People were busy, with their daily work, schools, and families. But deep inside the military command center, something was happening that would change everything. The distress signals from Zephora had reached Earth's listening stations. Earth's leaders quickly gathered to talk about the crisis. They were worried, but they also saw something that others did not. Humanity had faced tough times before: wars, disasters, and threats that seemed impossible. Earth's people were known for their courage and never giving up, even when the odds were against them. In a small town on Earth, far from the bright cities and busy centers, lived an old war veteran named Captain Mark Donovan. He had fought in many battles long ago during a terrible war that almost destroyed Earth. Now he lived a quiet life, telling stories to young children and helping his neighbors. But when Captain Donovan heard about the distress signals, something inside him changed. He felt a cold shiver run down his spine. There was something about these attacks that did not make sense. He remembered stories from his past, stories no one else seemed to think about. He looked at the news, the reports, and the strange silence coming from Zephora's system. He felt sure that the attack was not just random. There was a dark secret behind it. Something bigger, something dangerous was hiding in the shadows. Captain Donovan tried to warn the officials, but many ignored him. They said it was too soon to think like that. They said humanity should focus on helping the galaxy, not on fears and guesses. But the old veteran knew better. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council was arguing. Some leaders wanted to run away. Some wanted to hide behind their defenses, and others wanted to fight but had no plan. The galaxy was falling into panic. The once proud alliance was now weak and scared. In the middle of all this chaos, Earth's leaders made a bold decision. They would send help. They would send their ships, their soldiers, and their hope to Zephora. They believed humanity could make a difference. This decision shocked many. Some alien races laughed at Earth. They said humans were too small, too weak, and too young to fight in a war that was beyond them. But Earth did not care. They had learned long ago to fight when others gave up. As the first Earth ships prepared to leave, Captain Donovan stood quietly, watching the stars. He knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy had cried for help, and now humanity was answering. But he also knew that the real battle was far from over. Something dark was coming, and it would test humanity's strength like never before. The old veteran closed his eyes and whispered to himself, "We are ready." The silence of space was broken by the distant hum of engines. Earth's fleet was finally on its way to Zephora. Ships of many sizes moved together like a silver river flowing through the stars. Pilots and soldiers were ready. They carried hope for a galaxy that was losing faith. Captain Sarah Mitchell stood on the bridge of the lead ship, the Defiant. She was young but brave, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. Sarah had trained for years for this moment, but she still felt the weight of the mission on her shoulders. Around her, the crew worked quietly. They knew the danger waiting for them. The mysterious alien force that had attacked Zephora was unlike any enemy they had faced. No one knew what it was, or what it wanted, but they all understood one thing: failure was not an option. As the fleet entered the Zephora system, strange energy readings appeared on the sensors. The enemy was watching. It was a warning, a challenge. The fleet slowed down, ready for anything. At the same time, across the galaxy, many alien races watched Earth's fleet with mixed feelings. Some admired the courage of humanity. Others doubted it. They whispered that humans were reckless and that sending ships was a mistake. Some hoped Earth's ships would fail, proving that humans were not ready for war. Among the humans, a scout ship suddenly disappeared. It was supposed to be checking the area ahead of the fleet, but it never sent a return signal. Panic rose quickly on the Defiant. Where was the scout? Was it attacked? Captain Mitchell ordered a search, but no signs were found. It was as if the scout had vanished into thin air. The mystery deepened. Was this a trap? Was there a traitor inside their own fleet? Sarah's mind raced. She remembered stories from her training about betrayal and hidden enemies in wars long past. Could the same thing be happening now? She decided to keep a close watch on her officers and crew. Meanwhile, on Earth, the old war veteran, Captain Mark Donovan, was following the news with sharp eyes. He had warned about a secret danger, and now it seemed real. He feared that the enemy was not just outside the fleet, but inside it too. Back on the Defiant, the fleet moved closer to Zephora. The planet below was scarred by battle. Fires burned in the skies, and once beautiful cities lay in ruins. The people of Zephora were desperate for help. Suddenly, sensors detected fast-moving ships, the alien invaders. The fleet prepared for battle. But as the enemy ships closed in, they showed strange behavior. They did not attack all at once. Instead, they circled like predators, watching and waiting. Captain Mitchell realized this was a test. The enemy wanted to see how Earth's fleet would react. The battle had not yet begun, but the real war was already starting, a war of minds and fears. As the tension grew, a secret message was found in the missing scout's last transmission. It was coded and strange. Only a few could understand it, and it hinted at something terrible. The aliens were searching for something very important, something hidden in humanity's past. Captain Mitchell kept this secret close. She knew that revealing it too soon could cause panic, but she also knew that understanding the enemy's goal was the key to winning the war. The fleet braced for the fight ahead, knowing they faced an enemy unlike any other. Humanity was not alone anymore, and the galaxy was watching. But deep inside the fleet, the question remained: who was the traitor? And what dark plan were they hiding? Captain Mitchell looked out at the stars and whispered, "We must be ready for anything. This is only the beginning." The dark silence of space was broken by flashing lights and alarms. Earth's fleet had finally met the enemy. The mysterious alien ships moved with deadly speed, cutting through the void like sharp blades. The battle was about to begin. Captain, Sarah Mitchell stood firm on the bridge of the Defiant. Her heart beat fast, but her face was calm. She knew her crew was counting on her. They had trained for this moment, but nothing could prepare them for the true terror of the unknown enemy. The alien force was strange and terrifying. Their ships had armor stronger than anything humans had seen. They moved in tight formations, attacking with precision and power. Their weapons fired strange beams that melted through shields and hulls. But humans were not easily beaten. Earth's fleet responded with fierce tactics. They used clever maneuvers, surprising the enemy. Fighter pilots dove between enemy ships, risking everything to protect their fleet. Engineers on the Defiant worked quickly to repair damage and keep the ship alive. The first clash was brutal. Many ships were damaged or lost. The fleet's leaders saw the cost of this fight was high, but they also saw something else. The enemy was not unstoppable. Captain Mitchell's mind raced. She remembered a secret the old war veteran had warned about. The aliens were hunting for something hidden on Earth, something powerful and dangerous. This knowledge gave her hope, but also fear. If the enemy found it, the whole galaxy could be in danger. In the middle of the battle, a quiet voice came over the comms. A scout ship reported finding an ancient artifact buried deep inside a moon of Zephora. The artifact pulsed with strange energy. Could this be what the aliens wanted? Sarah knew the fleet had to protect that moon at all costs. She ordered a small team of soldiers and scientists to land and secure the artifact. But as they prepared to descend, the enemy focused their attacks on the moon, trying to stop them. The fight grew even more dangerous. Explosions lit the skies of Zephora's moon as humans and aliens battled on the surface. Captain Mitchell felt the weight of every life in her hands. She could not lose this fight. Then, a shocking discovery changed everything. During the battle, a captured alien ship revealed something unexpected. The enemy was connected to an ancient war that had almost destroyed Earth centuries ago. The enemy was not new. It was a dark enemy from humanity's past, now returned stronger and more furious. The fleet's morale changed, fear mixed with determination. Humans had fought this enemy before and they could fight again. But this time they needed to be smarter, faster, and stronger. As the first clash ended, both sides pulled back to regroup. Earth's fleet was battered, but alive. Captain Mitchell looked at her crew and said, "This is only the beginning. We have to fight not just for Zephora but for all life in the galaxy." The alien enemy watched from the darkness, planning their next move. They knew humanity was a threat now, a force to be reckoned with. Captain Mitchell turned to her second-in-command and whispered, "We will not back down. We are ready for what comes next." The battle had shown Earth's fleet something important. The enemy was stronger than anyone expected. The mysterious alien force had technology that could tear through ships like paper. The fleet needed an edge, something no one else had. Back on Earth, hidden deep beneath the surface, scientists worked on a secret weapon. This weapon was unlike anything seen before, a powerful device built with advanced human technology and old mysterious knowledge recovered from ancient ruins. It was called the Titan. Captain Sarah Mitchell was called back to Earth to learn about the weapon. She stood in a vast underground lab, surrounded by glowing machines and scientists in white coats. The air was thick with tension and hope. The lead scientist, Dr. Elena Vargas, explained, "The Titan can create an energy shield that is almost impossible to break. It also can unleash a pulse that disables enemy ships in seconds. But it is still experimental. We need to test it carefully." Sarah felt hope rising inside her. This weapon could turn the tide of the war. But there was also a warning. The weapon's power came with risks. It could backfire if used wrongly and might cause great damage. Meanwhile, back in the fleet, strange events began to happen. Some supplies went missing. Communication lines were mysteriously cut. Suspicion grew among the crew. Was there a traitor inside the fleet? Captain Mitchell decided to keep a close watch. She trusted her crew, but knew the danger was real. Someone wanted to stop the weapon from being used. If the traitor succeeded, the whole mission could fail. As preparations for the first test of the Titan began, the alien enemy launched a sudden, fierce attack on one of Earth's outposts near Zephora. The outpost was vital for supporting the fleet. It was now in danger of falling. Sarah made a quick decision. She sent a team to defend the outpost while speeding up the Titan's test. The fleet was stretched thin, but they could not lose this battle. During the test, the Titan's power was unleashed for the first time. A bright blue pulse spread through space, disabling enemy ships and protecting the fleet's vessels. It worked perfectly, but the victory was short-lived. The traitor struck. A sabotage caused a sudden explosion in the lab. Alarms screamed, and scientists scrambled to safety. The Titan was damaged, and the weapon's future was uncertain. Captain Donovan, the old war veteran watching everything from Earth, knew what this meant. The dark secret behind the enemy's attack was closer than anyone thought. The traitor was working for the aliens. As the fleet prepared for the next battle, Captain Mitchell looked at the stars with determination. The secret weapon was only the beginning. They would have to fight with every strength they had, and trust no one too easily. The war was far from over, and the real test of humanity's courage was just ahead. The war had reached a dangerous stage. Earth's fleet was battered, and the secret weapon, the Titan, was damaged but repairable. The enemy seemed stronger than ever, but the humans refused to give up. Captain Sarah Mitchell stood on the bridge of the Defiant, watching the stars. She felt the weight of every life in the fleet. They had lost friends and ships, but their spirit was not broken. There was still hope. Meanwhile, deep inside the enemy's dark ship, a figure appeared, the true mastermind behind the attack on Zephora. It was a being of great power and intelligence, calm but ruthless. It watched the battle like a chess player, moving pieces with quiet control. Back with the humans, a surprising event gave the fleet a new ally. During a routine patrol, one of the scout ships found an alien race called the Valari. The Valari had once been enemies of Earth, but had now suffered greatly from the same enemy attacking Zephora. They offered to help humanity. Captain Mitchell welcomed the Valari cautiously. Their technology was advanced and their warriors were fierce. Together they planned new strategies to fight the enemy. At the same time, engineers worked day and night to repair the Titan. The scientists were hopeful they could make the weapon even stronger. But the traitor inside the fleet was still active, sending secret messages to the enemy. One night, the fleet received a strange signal from Zephora's moon, the place where the artifact was found. The signal was weak but clear, a call for help from the team protecting the artifact. Captain Mitchell made a quick decision. She sent a team led by Lieutenant Jason Reed to Zephora's moon to secure the artifact and discover the truth behind the enemy's hunt. When Jason and his team landed on the moon, they found ruins older than any recorded history. The artifact was part of an ancient power that could change the course of the war. Suddenly, the enemy attacked the moon. The team fought bravely, but was surrounded. Just when hope seemed lost, the Valari fleet arrived, breaking the enemy's hold. The humans and Valari worked together to uncover the secrets of the artifact. It was a key to an ancient weapon, lost for centuries, with the power to defeat the enemy. Back on the Defiant, Captain Mitchell received news of the true mastermind, a powerful alien warlord who once fought humanity long ago. He had returned to finish what he started. The fleet was surrounded, and the enemy was closing in fast. But the humans were no longer afraid. They had a new ally, a secret weapon, and the will to fight. Captain Mitchell looked out at the stars and said, "This is our turning point. We fight for the galaxy, for our future. We will not lose." The fleet stood ready near Zephora. The stars above were quiet, but everyone knew the final battle was near. Humanity and their new Valari allies had one chance to stop the enemy, and they had to strike soon. Inside the Defiant, Captain Sarah Mitchell studied the ancient artifact recovered from the moon. With help from Valari scientists, they discovered something shocking. The artifact was not just a weapon key, it was also a memory device. It stored knowledge from an ancient time when the same enemy had attacked the galaxy thousands of years. That enemy, known only as the Wraithborn, had once tried to destroy all life. They were not a normal alien race. They were energy-based beings who fed on fear and chaos. Their leader, the warlord Zarthul, was once defeated by a combined force of ancient civilizations, including early humans. Now he had returned. And he had a spy inside the human fleet. Captain Mitchell gathered her top officers. She had kept her suspicions secret for too long. Someone had been feeding the Wraithborn information. Someone inside the fleet. It was time to uncover the truth. She called for a silent investigation. Every signal, every log, every movement was checked. And then, they found it. A low-ranking officer named Commander Rains had been sending coded messages to unknown coordinates. After each battle, when security moved in, he tried to escape. A violent struggle broke out inside the ship and Rains was caught. Under interrogation, Rains finally confessed. "They promised me power, survival. They said Earth would fall. No matter what." His words chilled the room. He was not just a traitor. He had helped the Wraithborn find the artifact. And now, Zarthul was coming for it. Suddenly, alarms rang across the fleet. Enemy ships detected. Hundreds of them. The Wraithborn had arrived, Dark, twisted ships surrounded Zephora. The space around them seemed to bend and burn. The final attack had begun. Captain Mitchell gave the command, "Prepare all weapons. Activate the Titan." The Titan weapon, now fully repaired and upgraded, was loaded onto the Defiant. As the enemy moved in, a pulse of energy exploded from the Titan, disabling dozens of enemy ships at once. But Zarthul was not finished. His command ship appeared, a giant black vessel glowing with dark energy. He sent a message to the fleet. "I'm Zarthul. I bring the end of your kind. Surrender the artifact or be erased." Captain Mitchell stood tall. "You tried to destroy us before. You failed then, and you will fail again." The battle exploded across the system. Humans and Valari fought side by side using clever tactics and fearless spirit. Fighters flew between enemy ships, hitting weak points. The Titan pulsed again, buying time. On the surface of the moon, Jason Reed's team activated the final sequence of the artifact. Light burst from the ruins. The ancient weapon hidden deep underground began to rise. A massive defense system built long ago to destroy the Wraithborn. Back in space, the weapon targeted Zarthul's command ship. The warlord fired everything he had, but it wasn't enough. The ancient weapon's final blast tore through his ship like a burning sun. Zarthul screamed in rage, and then vanished in light. The rest of the Wraithborn fleet began to retreat. Without their leader, they were lost. Cheers erupted across the fleet. The war was not over, but the worst was behind them. Humanity had stood strong, not just for themselves but for the galaxy. Captain Mitchell sat down for the first time in days. She looked around at her crew, exhausted but alive. "We did it. Together." But as the last enemy ship vanished, a small part of the artifact glowed softly. Unseen by anyone, something ancient still stirred. Silence returned to Zephora's skies. The Wraithborn fleet was gone. Zarthul, the Dark Warlord, had been destroyed. The galaxy took a deep breath, but peace did not last. Deep inside the ancient artifact on Zephora's moon, a hidden system activated. Unknown to the humans and the Valari, Zarthul's death had triggered a final command, a last failsafe. A hidden Wraithborn weapon, older and more dangerous than anything before, began to wake up. Captain Sarah Mitchell stood on the bridge of the Defiant, looking at the stars. Her crew celebrated quietly. Repairs were underway. Survivors from many species sent thanks. But Sarah felt something was wrong. Deep inside, her instincts whispered, "It's not over." Jason Reed and his team, still stationed on the moon, called in. "Captain, the artifact just sent out a signal. A deep frequency pulse. It's not aimed at us, it's going somewhere else." The scientists scanned the stars. A chilling discovery was made. The pulse had awakened a Wraithborn superweapon. It was located in a dead system, hidden behind a black dwarf star. The weapon was called the Endbringer. It was moving, heading straight for Earth. Panic spread through the Galactic Council. The Endbringer was a myth, a weapon said to destroy entire star systems. Now it was real, and it was coming. Captain Mitchell called an emergency war council. "We must stop it before it reaches Earth. If the Endbringer activates, it won't just destroy our planet. It will collapse the surrounding systems too." The Valari offered their full fleet. Other alien races, inspired by humanity's courage, sent help. Ships from across the galaxy began to gather, one final alliance united by fear and hope. The plan was dangerous. The Endbringer had a protective shield powered by dark energy. Normal weapons could not reach it. But the Titan, Earth's own creation that might be able to break through, it would be loaded onto a small strike ship, piloted directly into the heart of the enemy. Captain Mitchell made the call. She would lead the mission herself. "Earth gave me everything," she said quietly. "If this is the last fight, I want to be in it." The fleet prepared for battle. The final stand had begun. As they approached the dead star system, the sky turned black. The Endbringer floated like a giant ghost, silent, massive and glowing with red lightning. It had no crew. It was a machine of pure destruction. The Allied fleet attacked first. Waves of firepower struck its shield, but nothing broke through. Fighters were destroyed by beams of energy. The Endbringer kept moving, slow and unstoppable. Then came the Defiant. Captain Mitchell guided her ship into close range. The Titan weapon was fully powered. One shot, one chance. Her crew stayed calm. They all knew what was at stake. "Fire," she said. The Titan pulsed. A massive burst of energy hit the Endbringer's core shield. For a moment, the entire sky lit up. The shield flickered, then shattered. Now it was vulnerable. But the Endbringer responded. Giant cannons opened. A wave of destruction raced toward the Defiant. Sarah shouted, "Eject the Titan, now!" The crew obeyed. The Titan, now on autopilot, flew straight toward the weapon's core. Inside the Titan, a countdown began. If it reached the center, it would detonate and destroy the Endbringer from within. Enemy fire ripped through the Defiant. Systems failed. Fires burned. Captain Mitchell stayed at her post. "Hold the line," she cried. The Allied fleet swarmed to protect the Titan. Valari ships took heavy losses, but they didn't stop. Fighters blocked enemy fire with their own bodies. This was it. The last fight for everything. The Titan reached the core. A blinding explosion filled space. The Endbringer cracked, then shattered into burning pieces. One by one, its parts fell into the black dwarf's gravity, crushed forever. It was done. The galaxy was safe. On the Defiant, silence fell. Smoke filled the air. Injured crew members helped each other. The ship was barely alive, but it had survived. Captain Sarah Mitchell sat quietly in her chair, her eyes full of tears. Not of sorrow, but of relief. "We did it," she whispered. "We held the line." Across the galaxy, people celebrated. Earth was honored as the race that saved them all. Humanity had answered the galaxy's cry for help, not with fear, but with unstoppable fury and unshakable courage. But in the darkness of space, far beyond known stars, something else watched and waited.